Hi, I am S. Karthik, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology, Coimbatore. The title is Operating System. What is mean by operating system? Operating system is a set of programs that act as an intermediate between a computer user and computer hardware. That operating system goals is to execute the user programs and make solving user problems in easiest manner. Make the computer system is convenient to use of the user in fast and efficient manner. Then use of the computer hardware in efficient manner. Next, functions of that operating system. The operating system is responsible for process management, memory management, file management, IO management, security and protection, and user process management. A process is a program in execution is called as the process. A process needs certain resources, CPU time, memory, file, and IO devices to accomplish a given task. Simultaneous execution leads the multiple processes to execute the creation, execution, and termination of the process are most basic functionalities of an operating system. If the process is dependent, uh, try to share the same resources, the process synchronization. If the process is independent, care needs to taken to avoid their overlapping in memory area. Then based on the priority, the important to allow the important process to execute the first in the central process, then followed by the other processes. Next, memory management. Memory is the large array of words of bytes, each with its own address. Memory management is a repository of quickly accessible data shared by the central processing unit and IO devices. The main memory is the volatile storage device that once we have stored the data, it's not erasable based on the power of conditions. If it is power of the data is erased in that RAM, it is a non-volatile. That operating system is responsible for the following activities in connection with the memory management. Keep the track of which part of memory are currently being used and who is the using particular memory address. Decide which process is to load when the memory space becomes available. Allocate and deallocate the memory space as it's required by the file management. The file is collection of related information that we can see the different types of file system: FAT12, 16, 32, NTFS, ext3, HFS plus. What are the main activities of the file management? File creation and deletion, directory creation and deletion, support of preemptives for manipulating files and directories, mapping the files into secondary storage devices, backupping your files into storage media. Device management. The device controllers are component on the motherboard that can act as an interface between the CPU and actual device. The device drivers of the operating system software component that can interact with the device controllers. The special device called interrupt controller that can handles the task of receiving that input request from the process. It can prioritize them forwarded to the processor. The deadlock can occur when the two or more number of processes that can control the different types of IO resources that are needed by the other process that are currently not able to release the currently utilizing process. Then activities of device management. Keep the tracks of all devices connected to the system. The designates the program responsible for every device is known as that input output controller. It can decides the which process gets access to certain types of devices and how long time it can access. Allocate and deallocate the devices. Security and protection. That operating system uses the password to protect the user information. It can also prevent the unauthorized person to access the secured information. That owner of the information is stored in that multi-user then or networked computer system. It can maybe want when it's required, we can easily store and retrieve the information. User interface mechanism. User interface controls the how you enter the data and instructions on how the information can be displayed in the screen. So totally two types of interfaces is the command line interface and user interface. Command line interfaces, the user types the command represented by the short keywords or abbreviations or presses special keys on the keyboard to enter the data and instruction. Here some of that command and commands given by the graphical user interface is interact the menus and visual images.